Waiting. There we are. Hey, it's 7:09, so we're a little late, but better late than never. It's Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live. With me tonight, my very good friends, Randy, the genealogist Rhodes, and Jen, the homeschooling mom, who has a history lesson related to the Constitution somewhere in the 1700s. Instead of, if you saw notes that said Jen was going to talk about Dolly Madison and the White House fire in the 1800s, but I guess we haven't finished the 1700s, so we're gonna do that. And I can't tell, Jen, did you freeze again?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
It must be really cold where she lives.
All right, well, we'll do that. We'll bounce that, and she'll come back, and then we'll get that figured out. If not, we will work it in, and we'll do it the next time. But hey, Randy Rhodes did a broadcast in the 6 o'clock hour, just before 6, and he talked about people buying ancestry DNA kits from people who, I guess, sell them for ancestry and then sell it to you and send it in. The problem that I guess happens is someone orders $1,000 worth of them, and as soon as they hang up, they shut off that credit card. Amazon has already put the order in to ship them out, and they never get paid for them. And then when you get that kit, you put your body fluids in it, and you send it to Ancestry, and they reject it, not because it's your body fluids in it, but they reject it because the serial number is not usable, and they aren't going to do the test for you. So you got screwed. So be very careful when you buy things like that. I'm going to say this. I've said it before. Randy Rhodes is probably the most honest genealogy person you will find. He will go to town doing whatever he has to do, turning over every stone he can. And in 15 minutes, he will tell you everything that he dug up in the quarry that your family DNA sits in. And you will probably decide that you want to go from there. Rates are very affordable. You have to talk to him. I think it's $250 a month, which is still the lowest of anybody that you'll find through Facebook that is doing it. Contact him on the Randy Rhodes Facebook profile, message him, or go to the All Roads Lead home group. That's Rhodes, Rhodes, like his last name. And Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is a Sunday night which I mean is a night during the week that nobody is doing a 7 p.m. broadcast. So Randy is there. It's the Road to Dixie. Watch that and be informed. And now we're going to turn it over to Jen, the homeschooling mom Woodruff, who's going to take us into the Constitution in the latter portion of the 1700s.
Hello, everybody.
I'm even going to turn my mic off while Jen does this.
What?
He said he's turned his microphone off. So
hello, everyone. I wanted to bring up a really good story today about women in history. Now, this goes back to... Okay. Anyways, this story starts in 1780, and this is about... Now, they had just drafted the Constitution after the Revolutionary War in 1776. And this story starts out with a Black lady named Mom Bet. Okay, so this is in Boston. And the people, they're being read out loud in the town square because that's how information traveled. They would go to the town square and someone would read, and that's how everyone learned what was going on. It was kind of like the town crier in the very olden days. It would yell the time. Well, anyways, this was the Massachusetts Constitution. And it starts out a lot like our Constitution.
Jen is frozen up again. Let's wait a second and see if she can come back to us. And all right, Jen, if you can hear me, we'll bounce you out. Try coming back in again. I don't know what the weather is like in Idaho tonight, and it could be bad, or it's just Facebook. They don't like me. They're angry at me about everything, so they're interfering with the broadcast. So, Randy, Sunday night, 7 p.m., you did your first broadcast. Unfortunately, I was cutting Z's, dreaming about your first broadcast, and the dream I had was it went excellent.
I actually connected with a Dixie group called the Dixie group. Okay, and that's the name of the group, and they allowed me to use their music across the board. And they had like 5 CDs out, and she's going to send me the CDs, but she's on Spotify and on YouTube. So I wanted to use the music. This one song is called "The Soldier." It's about a Confederate soldier, about him enlisting and then getting caught as a prisoner and then being executed and so forth. But I didn't know how to connect the music to the StreamYard properly. So when I played the music, I did it through the speakers. So the quality sucked, but it was a learning process. And William Rayfield told me there's a way of taking the music from YouTube and linking it to StreamYard. So I got to figure that part of it out. But overall, the show went well. Ichabod, Jen knows him, also known as Stephen Palmer. He has a company where he has 6 employees. They go out and they restore monuments, primarily Confederate, but they do Union as well as others. They do Revolutionary War monuments and so forth. So they go out and they do that. And I asked him if he had some, because you hear about cemeteries and possibility of the folks still walking around the grave sites and like they weren't dead. And he said that he and his wife has had several personal experiences where they couldn't explain what was taking place around them, other than the fact that the spirits of the deceased soldiers were still walking around.
We will keep trying to bring Jen back. She keeps locking up somewhere between Idaho and Florida. So it's not that I'm bouncing her or she's walking away. She just keeps locking up. And some nights that happens on StreamYard and it happens with Facebook. So if we don't get her in tonight, we will get her in. We will get her in so you have a reprieve. And you won't have to take the test on tonight's history lesson until the history lesson is done. But go ahead, Randy.
Well, actually, when I was in college, the professor gave everyone a test without even discussing the content of the test beforehand. That was interesting. Not many people passed it. But one of the other interesting things about what he does is that his wife has a gift for you have to call it a gift. You know how back in the day people would go out and they would divine for water using the branch of wood from a particular tree, and as they're walking across the ground, if the branch bends downward, it means there's water there. Well, she has the ability to do the same thing with finding dead bodies. So she's done that many times where she'll go out to an area and still find and locate bodies. And then, of course, she would have to notify the local folks that, hey, there's bodies buried here. This land needs to be protected. But there was a sexton of this one church who questioned her her abilities, and they put her to a test, and they paid her to come out to find this body that they felt was on the land, but they just didn't know where it was. But in that reality, they did. And they also happened to know who it was and the whole history behind this particular body. So as his wife was doing her thing, this branch, instead of bending downward, actually separates outward. And then when she walks past where the body is, the branch bends backwards. So she can get an idea by how long it takes for that branch to go back to normal position, whether it's a child or an adult body. So she was doing this, and the people were asking, well, are you having problems? She said, well, I don't understand it. That doesn't make sense. I said, what doesn't make sense? And she said, well, I'm getting the indication that there is definitely a body here, but that the body could be an adult or a child. And she was having problems divining which one it actually was. Well, as it turns out, they told her that excellent job. He did find the location of the body, but the body was a woman who died given childbirth, and that the child was also buried with her. So they are very impressed with her, and they make use of her talents, doing things like that. It was a very interesting show. It had a couple people reach out in comments and had some good questions, some good interaction. But for me, not really, marketing the show and leading up to the actual show, pushing it. It went well. There's no problem with the live stream. It didn't freeze up, nothing like that. It's just that we used to pretend to do that. Just that I got to do something different with the music to make it better.
But Linda was referring to that walking around with the stick and being able to find water, or maybe walking around and being able to communicate with dead people that had been buried and being able to find them. I don't know. Okay, Linda just commented that it was for water. Also want to say good evening to William Grant, our buddy who's watching it. Maybe one day we'll get him on. Go ahead, Randy. I interrupted you again, but that's all I ever do.
Oh, yeah, well, no,
interrupt the people that are here.
You always interrupt me.
No, I do. Well, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still waiting for that check to clear the bank. But yeah, so this music group, they were called the Dixie Band.
Not the Dixie Chicks.
No. But can you believe that there were enough complaints about the name Dixie that was preventing them from going out and doing shows and earning a living, that they actually had to change the name of the group from the Dixie Band to the Band Jubilee.
The Band Jubilee.
Yeah, so that's what they're called now. And it's a
mother. Thank you, boys.
What?
The band tonight, the Band Jubilee is on the broadcast, and it just made me think of Lawrence Welk going, "Thank you, boys."
Oh yeah. I used to watch Lawrence Welk. Come on,
I did too. I did too.
Yeah, I love it. So it's a mother, a son, and two twin daughters, identical twin daughters, who are the singers, performers. There's a dad. I guess he's like the producer. There's like other kids, and they, I guess, are starting to learn their talents as well. But beautiful music. They're Celtic. Okay, so if you know what Celtic music is like, they sing Celtic. And I think that's a very, very unique style of music, especially when you're talking about music from the South. But they responded to me. They said I can make use of the music. I don't have to worry about paying them any kind of royalty rights, nothing like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The only thing that happens sometimes is that Facebook will send you a a copyright violation anyway, because the software tool they have will show that the music is copyrighted. All you do is either get a note from her sent to you or have her type a message to you, and then you forward that to Facebook, and they let it go. I had to do it with Boogie with the Bull because the guy in China who thinks he owns Boogie with the Bull, I finally had to have the songwriter who wrote my Boogie with the Bull, took the sheet music and on the back wrote, Dave Blumen has unlimited permission to use this anytime he wants. And
I just
they leave me alone on it.
Yeah, the show went really well. Now it's partially sponsored, although I haven't got paid yet. But he wants the show to be two times a month.
That guy is not waiting for the check from me to clear the bank, by the way.
No. So I got to reach out to him and let him know that the show did go well, and that moving forward we got to start talking, do re mi. But you know what? Even if the sponsorship money thing falls through, I think I'm going to continue with the show. To have my own show, my own broadcast, to talk about things that I enjoy, which is the things about the South. There's just so many topics that you can talk about, and I asked Ichabod Stephen if his wife would be willing to come on the show to discuss how she does this, how first off how she discovers talent that she has, and how she's able to divine where the bodies are. I think that'd make for a phenomenal show. So I'm waiting to hear back from him on that. So, and of course, with things going on in politics, I mean, I was looking today, my wife and I are talking, we're disgusted with how the Democrats are controlling the judicial system and making it a two-tier system, one where good people are bad and bad people are good. And I'm looking at, the amount of money so far that, they claim that he has to pay in fines. It's close
we interrupt Randy Rhodes once again because you actually have a question. Nick Gurr wants to know if you are from the South, Randy.
No, and that is something that I absolutely always upfront tell people. I was not born in the South. I hate to say it. I was born in the North, the state of Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I was actually born in the Amish, Mennonite, Dunkard, Quakers area, which may, in a sense, help me realize why I feel the way I do concerning the South. Because the Quakers, the Amish, the Mennonites, the Dunkard, I almost became, I'm just so you know, I was that close at the age of 19 of leaving my family and going to join the Mennonites. And I just turned 19, and my dad, I came home one day, my bags were packed on the porch, and my dad said, "There you are. If you have been Mennonite, take your bags and leave. You're not welcome in this house." And I couldn't understand why, until eventually he told me that when he was in Vietnam, the Mennonites, they love everyone. And during the Vietnam War, the Mennonites were sending food, medicine, clothing to the North Vietnamese, to the Viet Cong, and helping them essentially. And because of that, my dad had no desire for me to become Mennonites. And when I mentioned this to the other men my age, they said, "Well, Randy, we're in the process of building this home for single men. You're more than welcome to join us." And I'm gonna tell you what, I came close. I really did, but inside of me, because of my dad being in the military, and at the time I was in the Air Force Reserves, and they knew that. And they said, the young people knew I was in the Air Force Reserves. And they said, you cannot let the elders know that you're in the military. And I'm thinking to myself, you want me to join your faith, but you want me to lie about being in the military. It just didn't make sense. So I didn't join. But I've always been drawn towards the people of the South. The people in the South, like the Mennonites, the Dunkers, the Quakers, and so forth, they are a close-knit family. They love everybody. They reach out and help people. They don't draw a line when it comes to really to helping people out. They are the people in the South. They are God, country, and family, like I was raised and personally believed in. It was just a sad thing that I was, born in the northern state. And I also say, you asked my wife, I'm also born in the wrong damn um, uh, time of history. I would love to live back in the 1800s. When I'm doing people's ancestry, I'm looking at how their folks lived, how their ancestors lived. Wow. I just I would love to get into a time machine and just sit back. And I know things were hunky dory back there, but you know what? You lived off the land. You were a family unit. You had respect for each other, um, and so much more that we don't have today. And it's disgusting to see the way in some respect, how the folks in the North, and I'm not saying everybody in the North, but it just seems that the folks in the North really don't care about anybody else. It's about them, whereas the folks in the South, totally different. And I love that. So I always make sure that people know that unfortunately I'm what they call a copperhead. Okay. So the SCV, the Sons of the Confederate Veterans, the SIA, the Southern Independence Association, the CSA, which I have no idea, I can't remember what it means, but they all accept people like myself who were not born in a Southern state, but because of our love and desire to live Southern, to help the Southern, they gave us a title of Copperhead. And that's what I am. And that's what gives me the rights to, to have that flag behind me. Even though there are some folks on, in Facebook land that says I shouldn't have that flag behind me. Yeah, I can. And so I'll stay there.
There's somebody on Facebook who will always tell you can't do something. And I just look at them and go, you know what? Don't like it? Don't watch. You don't like it, don't watch. And if you want my genealogy service, it's $250 more.
Yeah, I actually had a person reach. I did a short broadcast today just to show people, what I do for research. All the tools I have, and the individual reached out. I won't use the person's name, but they asked me can I find an adopted I think it's a brother that's been 50 years till I had the ability to do something like that. And it doesn't really fall in the realm of doing genealogy. Genealogy is a study of a family's history. But the neat thing is, and this is how I answer that person, and I'm waiting for an answer back as far as if they're going to hire me. But everybody that is living, breathing, does something in their lifetime to make themselves publicly known to the world. Okay. Um, Adoptions sometimes are kept private because they don't want the father knowing that he was the father or whatever, or they don't want the child know that he's adopted or whatever the situation is. But at some point, that adopted person goes to school.
I hope
Okay.
the message on the screen doesn't give away who it
No.
was. Okay. All right.
Where was I? The person goes to school. They have high school pictures. Okay, and they get married. They have they do things that become public knowledge. And when I find that by searching other members of the family,
They
okay,
go up on the wall in the post office.
yeah, right. Boom, a missing person found. I can find those people, and it takes time, but due diligence, I can prove it. And so hopefully, this person that reached out to me earlier today reaches out to me as far as if he wants to actually hire me, and we'll go from there.
I can't talk when my mic is turned off. I can't win. But good. Well, it sounds like you were busy. I know I have heard you say over the last few days you have 4 positions available. I think you said you can handle usually a load of 8 people at once, and that you have 4 available. So again, if people are thinking about it, contact Randy on his profile. Randy Rhodes. Go to the All Roads Lead to Home genealogy group here on Facebook and do it. And the price, Randy. And the price, Randy, is. Wait a minute. I'm trying to read this. And the price, Randy, isn't that bad. Just need a little time to think about it, Randy. Well, good. Robin Brunson is going to think about it. And I hope she does.
And I'm very, very lenient when it comes to the money. Some folks will pay me a week at a time. Some folks will pay me do a bi-weekly. But the longest client has been over a year. Some people come and they stay for 2 or 3 months. They find what they want and they leave. But the reason why I limit myself to the number of clients is this. First off, I also, put it out there up front that a genealogist, there are different ways of doing genealogy. There are those who charge $4,000 up front. They're the ones who, and I have this is fact, okay? That person will actually get in the car and drive across the state line to a cemetery, to a courthouse, to wherever to find the information. Now that's old school because almost everything that person does in living, I can do online. I use 12 different services to find all the information that I need. So I don't leave the comforts of my home. There's no need to. Military records, I belong to Fold 3. Newspaper archives, I belong to newspaper archives. I can go back into the very, 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 very first publication of a newspaper. It is there online now. So the idea of having to drive to a courthouse or to a cemetery or whatever, it's neat for that person. It's no longer necessary. And those folks charge $45 an hour at the least. Mine works out to $3.58 an hour. Okay. I get a disability check. So that's where my primary source of income comes from. So I don't charge a lot when I do my genealogy services. The where are they going with this? Yeah, so the
And that
money
check
market,
only works out to about $3.58 a minute, too.
yeah.
Robin wants to know if you do PayPal.
I do PayPal. I do Cash App. I do Facebook. They have a way of paying. The one I use primarily is called Square. It is a app that I have on my computer and on my cell phones. It creates an invoice, and I send that invoice out through an email, and then that person can securely pay through that link, but using a credit card, debit card, their own PayPal, or whatever, to make that payment. The neat thing about my using the Square is it keeps track of where I'm at with the money, how much I'm making, and so forth for obviously for tax purposes, because legally I'm allowed to earn so much money before I start having to pay taxes. And I just recently found out that it goes beyond that. This is how I found out how much money I'm not making. Um, uh, I'm supposed to have myself up as a self-employed, but what keeps me from doing that is the fact that when you take in consideration how much money I charge and for my services, and then you add up all of the expenses that I have, the magazine subscriptions, the computers, the internet. I can take off my a portion of my rent. I can take off the electricity. I can take off my home security, things like that. When I add all that up, I'm not making a dime, but that's okay because
We charge $3.58 an hour for a handicap space here in Florida.
I love what I do. And what I do excites me. It keeps me alive, right? Um, and it's also sad because like I've said before on your show and other shows. I mean, I'll find someone's ancestor who lived in London back in the 1500s during the terrible fire of London, and these people left London while it's still burning. They get on board their ship. They take the length of time, or weeks, whatever, to go from England to the New World. The one or two of them might die en route because of bad food or an illness. They land in the New World. They get down their hands and knees and thank God for arriving in their safety. Then the Indians attack and they get scalped and they get raped and they get murdered and they get kidnapped. And then they manage to survive that. And then it's the Bacon War. It's the all of this. It is amazing how anybody even friggin' survived. But it is what it is. You're muted.
I'm muted. All roads lead to home. Genealogy is the name of the group. Look it up. Join it. Randy Rhodes is the genealogist. You can message him on Facebook Messenger. Yes, he does take PayPal. And who knows, you might even be able to work out other trade outs with him, but that's between you and him. Joining us, a man that needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway, William Rayfield from the Patriots Lab. And we'll just kind of move along and see what is new and exciting and happening in the world, William.
Not too much. Today's sort of a somber day for me.
Did you say somber?
Yeah, my uncle passed away today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's crazy because I was sitting here this morning and doing morning coffee with Jen. And, normally when I hear sirens and stuff, we don't get much crime here in Jonesboro. So you figure it's an elderly person that EMTs are getting ready to go help or whatever. And so I didn't pay no attention to it. And then the sirens went away. And then I got a window that's right in front of me. And then I just seen these lights going off in front of the window. So I just had to cut my show, and I went upstairs, and yeah, my uncle had passed away
Oh wow.
this morning. So it's just another quick reminder that we're not promised tomorrow. I'm glad I was able to see him yesterday. So
Very
Did he
good.
did he live with you?
no. My aunt lives. It's a 3-family house.
Right.
And,
Okay. But it's connected then.
Yeah.
Wow. So right next door.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's
it's
horrible to
one of
hear
those
about
things.
the death
It
of
is.
your uncle, but it's also comforting to know that you are that close to being with the family and comforting the family and giving like family support too.
Yeah. I mean, good gracious. I mean, yeah, one of many, one of many.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing. You know, I just got back from South Carolina maybe 2-3 weeks ago, burying my grandfather.
Ooh.
So, you know, life has a way of dealing you blows, but you know, you don't define a man by how many times he gets knocked down. You define him by how many times he gets back up.
There
So
you
it's
go.
just another one of those situations. But yeah, so I'm moving right along, taking it as best as I can. Figuring
know-
I'd come in here and liven it up.
You know,
How
really-
was Texas?
Texas
And
is
how
damn hot.
and how close to the border did you actually get?
Yeah, I got about 10 feet.
Oh, good.
10, 20 feet to the border.
Good.
Actually, where we stayed at the Cornerstone Christian Children's Ranch was approximately, about 20 yards from the border itself. So we woke up to the border and went to sleep to the border.
Very good. Very good.
But it was hot, and it was winter, and it was 90 degrees almost. I think it was 86 degrees, and they said that's their winter. So I said, you ain't got to worry about me seeing it in the summertime.
and Popo really liked him.
Were there a lot of people there?
About 2,500.
Yeah, okay,
That's a good turnout. Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of which,
Well, you
speaking
figure
of
they
which,
started out in Virginia Beach with 50 cars. By the time they got to Texas, they had about 400.
Wow.
speaking of which, what's going the convoy of trucks to New York? Are they actually being successful? And
No, that's
fall apart?
something that is totally done independently. There's no way of knowing what truckers aren't going to take loads and what truckers will take loads. It's not
Right.
something that's organized by any certain individual. This is just men deciding to stand on their own and independently decide to not take loads into New York City.
Yep. I hope to get Michael Zephyr, who drives a beautiful, you have to see this, it's a beautiful tractor and trailer that is a rolling dedication to vets. It's really a beautiful truck.
Oh, good.
To
But
get him on and see what he has to say about the truckers not going to New York. I have seen all kinds of memes.
Well, I'll have a
telling
great
people to
show.
telling truckers to boycott New York. I don't know if any, of any that actually are. Michael was in I want to say Kentucky last night.
Well, for any of your followers that are watching, I will have a great show tomorrow night. I'll have Vince Saban, who was the lead escort car in the convoy. He actually started out with the convoy in Hagerstown. He was the organizer of the convoy, one of the organizers of the convoy of Hagerstown back in 2022, which initially launched this. I will also have Michael, I forgot his last name. Oh my goodness. But he is another organizer that organizes convoys that I had the pleasure of meeting while I was down in Texas. So we're going to have a great show. These gentlemen have great insight on what's going on in and throughout the trucker industry. This is their life. Vince has been doing it for more than 20 years, and I think Mike's been going on 40 years now. So we're going to have a great show tomorrow, and they're going to be able to answer a lot of questions. 9 o'clock.
Again, is it 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Ray is all over social media, but if you're on Facebook around 9 o'clock, you'll see it on his profile here. But Ray is everywhere we all need to be, and I could probably spend a month just sitting down with Ray, seeing everywhere he is, and getting my own network where we go up and running. It's really very impressive. I know he's on Twitter, he's on Rumble, he is on Twitch, he's on Facebook, just about everywhere. And if he isn't on a social media network that you're on, talk to him, and odds are he can probably get there. But Ray, you can tell everybody where you are. But I want them because we're on Facebook. I want them to watch you on Facebook.
Right.
So, but 9 o'clock tomorrow night on the William Rayfield page. Make sure there.
Can I make one statement about this Trump situation?
Absolutely. It's open discussions, anything you want to talk about.
With this $355 million victory that Letitia is going to do circles around, they'll never see a dime of that money.
Right.
I just want people to relax, pump the brakes, know that this is all propaganda, this is all fear tactics. Know at the end of the day, no matter what we're going through, the rule of law will prevail. We can't let ourselves get wrapped up into these small minor court cases and things of that nature. At the end of the day, you have to, as much as you can, keep faith in your country, because at the end of the day, your country is going to pull through. So don't let all of this, try not to let all of this stuff get to everybody. Oh, Trump's got 300. They'll never see a penny of that. Trump's not worried. They'll never see a penny of that. And anyway, even if he has to pay the $355 million, the man's worth billions. So we just need to pump the brakes. That's all.
Yeah, I was looking at that myself. There are different estimates, but the highest I've seen was he's worth like $10.2 billion. But he has two new money revenues. One, he's starting his new gold line sneakers. So he'll be getting money coming from that. And apparently his social media, Truth Social, is going to be going public soon, which is supposed to generate a shitload of money.
Yeah, Trump Media and Technology Group, which is his company.
If I was Donald Trump, I would take all of my businesses out of New York City and go build a skyline out in the Ponderosa somewhere where people will appreciate you and welcome you.
Well, he's merging Trump Media and Technology Group, which is his company that owns Truth Social, is merging with a company called Digital World Acquisition. And what Digital World Acquisition did and will still do is they buy and set up social media networks, and they will acquire broadcasters and everywhere. And they've raised in round one of their combined investment money, $50 million so far. And going public, I can't imagine that by the time they sell the first round of stock, they won't raise another $50 million easy and have $100 million to do this right. I've also heard that there may be possibilities that Rumble may merge in and become a partner, because the backbone of Truth Social is Rumble's network and Rumble's web hosting. So it could be something really big, really good for Truth Social, and I hope it goes. It could be very big and very good for conservative patriot broadcasters like us. I know that President Trump has said he has wanted to do something with Rumble for a long time, hopefully mainly with Rumble being the live stream access for Truth Social. It's very expensive, as you've heard Stephen Tolliver say, to set up the live streaming part of your social media network. It's close to $150 to $300 million to do it right. So, if President Trump is going to set something up, he's going to do it right, and it'll be world class. Go ahead, William. You were.
No, I wouldn't say I was listening. I forgot in my old age what I was even talking about.
How old was your uncle? Could I ask?
He was on. He was not in the greatest of health. I believe Uncle Phil was probably 63, 64.
Oh, that's young. Damn.
Yeah, but it wasn't something that shocked us. Maybe the rapidness in which his health declined, but it was something that we had an opportunity to be there, and we could see it from days to days.
I mean, dude,
it doesn't make it any easier.
No, and dude, if I wish I could be there, to give you an embrace, to show you manly affection, to give you support. But here's my hug, okay?
Yeah, appreciate it. But you know what? He's in a better place, especially with all the shit that's going on in today's world.
Amen on that one.
But other than that, nothing too much exciting is going on. All of Trump's court cases are just crumbling to pieces. But you got to be paying attention to the nuances and to not the mainstream media. That's the number one thing. You can't listen to the mainstream media. And if you do that, and just focus on the actual and the factual of all the cases, you have scholars, even Democrats, Alan Dershowitz. You have what the hell is his name? I forgot his name. But once these get to the higher courts, they will be totally just thrown out the window. Just like with this Georgia case. No, not the Georgia case, the New York case. That case has already been dismissed by the appellate division. And the judge knew he wasn't supposed to bring the case. So all of this is just scare tactics to scare people, to keep them in line. That's all this is. That's all.
But and I agree with you. It's a way to. It is a way for them to scare the smaller person, to try and keep them from continuing to support Trump. I don't know how the hell he gets up in the morning. Okay, that guy has strength. The guy is a freaking marathon runner. He is a warrior. Semi-demigod. I mean, this guy has got strength.
They say he doesn't.
Trump,
they say he doesn't sleep much.
Trump doesn't.
That he doesn't need much.
He's not a. Trump isn't a anomaly or nothing like that. He's nothing special. What Trump is what all men are supposed to be. He's a true alpha male, which all men are supposed to be. He's a true alpha male. That's all
Yeah.
it is. He's put it this way. He ain't no different than me. I believe in what I believe in. I stand in what I believe in. I'll die on what I believe in.
They used to say that he could have been in. We'll just say Russia. He could have been in Russia meeting with Putin, and he gets back, and the helicopter lands at like midnight, and he would go into the Oval Office and he would work for like 8 hours just because he hadn't been in the office, and would just crank it out. And I've heard that while he was president,
He did that his whole life.
they said that they just said right. They just said that he didn't sleep much.
No. How do you think he became the person he is?
Right. I mean, I'm sure you have to sleep when you have to sleep at some point, and you train your body to work on.
Well, here's a prime example
on the sleep that you can give it. But
I average going to bed between 1 and 2 in the morning, but I'm always up by 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. More power to you. I can't do that.
I mean, 4 hours is all I need. Now, my wife, she needs 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Don't touch her. Leave her alone. Me, 4 hours. I'm looking for another 24 to go.
Yep.
Go hard.
My wife needs about 8. I can function on 4, but I really need 6. And lately, it's closer to 6 hours a night, and then I nap a bunch during the day.
What's with the deal with the attack on Tucker going to Russia? I mean, the news media is going nuts against him.
Ignorant people.
I think it's ignorant people that are jealous that he got the interview.
This is the thing, and this is what I hate more than anything. So you have the Biden administration that's been lying to us since day one. My simple question is, why all of a sudden would y'all believe them when it comes to Russia? Why? Why? Y'all been lied to, America. Y'all been lied to by this administration so much and so often. Matter of fact, I don't think they've ever told us the truth. Well, no, they did tell us the truth. We just didn't believe them when they told us it. But why would you all of a sudden believe them when they're so adamantly, hate Putin? Putin killed Navalny. Hey, why would, see, maybe I'm just from a different school. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You're not going to get me twice. You're not going to get me. Maybe because I'm from the hood and I got street smarts. But you're not going to get me. Just like they think they can come around and think they're going to magically switch all the policies, saying it makes people feel good, some people. But I know it's just a facade to get you back where you at. And then as soon as you back where you at, you're going to revert back to who you are. So the American people, plain and simple, have to stop being stupid, get a backbone, stand up for your country. And once we get our country back, then we can get back into our little grievances that we have amongst one another. But right now, we got to stand arm in arm in solidarity for this lady we call America here.
Damn straight.
It's not. I'm not rocket science. This shit is common sense.
Right.
This is our country. But they're trying to make us think that for some reason we were born under the iron fist of communism and socialism. And no, America is one of the only countries that have been afforded the opportunity to taste freedom, real freedom. And we ain't giving that up for nobody. Nobody. Now, a lot of Americans think we ain't pushed to that point at this time. But that's like anything. That's like anything. You got crime going in your neighborhood. People down the street, they're going to talk in front of the cameras and all that. They ain't going to do nothing. But as soon as they get to their door, now they locked and loaded and they ready to blast and put the same story on that the neighbor down the street put on that they didn't give a damn about then. America's going to be okay. I've been saying this since day one. And I'm steadfast on what I believe. And because if you think otherwise, if you think for a second America is going to all of a sudden become a communist, socialist, dictatorship country, second, third world country, you're sadly mistaken. We're the last hope
Yeah.
for this world.
Right.
We're the last hope.
Yep.
So God won't let that happen. He
I don't think so.
created this world for us to be fruitful and multiply, not to be ruled over, reigned over, and things of that nature. So, like I've always said, in the end, he wins. He said we would have trials and tribulations. He never came out and said what the magnifications of them would be. This is just another test.
No, he's been very honest, and he's told us time and time again. He's been honest with us about what he was going to do, and he did it. And he's going to come back, and he's going to do it, and maybe even do it better than he did in his first term. And I hope that there can be a meeting very quickly between Ukraine and Russia, and that thing comes to an end. But I hope before that happens that he meets with Zelensky and understands we're not sending any more money there.
You know, I've been following, and it's unfortunate. It's kind of hard to choose which news media outlet to follow to get the, using Raymond's terminology, the actual and the factual. But when you look at the news media, it gives the impression that Russia has lost 500,000 soldiers. They lost the majority of their northern fleet of ships. They've lost, hundreds of jet fighters and tanks and blah 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 blah. But they very seldom say about, what the Ukrainians are losing, and I'm sure they have to be just as high. But at what point does the leader of a nation, especially one like Russia that has the capability of bringing all hell down onto a nation, when does he stop taking the loss of his men and women in combat in uniform and the loss of the actual equipment? I mean, what's it going to take for him to either end the war or use the magnificent fleet of nukes he has, or almost nukes, to bring the whole damn thing to an end?
Are you talking about Putin?
Yeah, I'm talking about Putin.
This isn't, and this is where it gets deep, to where a lot of people don't know, aren't aware. This is a global agenda. This is a global reset. This isn't about Putin trying to annihilate Ukraine. Putin wants Ukraine. Putin, at the end of the day, is going to have Ukraine. Ukraine is going to be Putin's buffer system against NATO. But that will only occur once Trump gets back into office. See, people have to understand Trump and Putin, two alpha dogs, whether you love them or hate them, they're both, in their mind, doing what's in the best interest of their countries. I tell Americans all the time, if you don't know the true history of what took place in Russia, you need to just shut up. But Americans are so used to just, hell, we do it here to our own American citizens. We're just so quick to just jump off the cuff because we hear shit. If you don't know about the true history, when Vladimir Putin sits down with Tucker Carlson and explains the origins hundreds of years ago of Ukraine and Russia, you have no clue. The only thing you can go by are talking points that the mainstream media gives you. So Putin is waiting for Trump to get back so they can continue on with their agenda. Putin put Russia first and Trump puts America first, but they both understand that this right here is bigger than both Russia and America. You know, we're still a a small piece to a larger puzzle. America can't never get it twisted. The world is bigger than America. The world is bigger than Russia. So once Trump gets back, we'll see how this global descent is going to operate. But yeah, he's not trying to destroy Ukraine. He wants Ukraine. Like he says, he wants to bring Ukraine back to Mother Russia. Now, whatever that means, I'm not Russian. I don't know the history of Russia.
I think you're right. I think you are very right. I did make a correction to the comment that I posted in the live chat. I put tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So there it is. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Catch the actual factual on the Patriot Slab with William Rayfield. Catch it on Facebook, but he'll be all over social media.
Oh, thank you. No wonder you were quiet.
And if you watch him, you'll know. And I'll make sure before we end tonight that he reminds everybody where he's going to be. And where else are we? I mean, I really want to get into a discussion about the FBI admits that they've had 40 agents working full-time who infiltrated the Biden criminal enterprise. They have all kinds of proof of all of the illegal activity. And if this is true, why are they sitting on it and not doing anything? You know, I mean, the DOJ.
Why who's not doing nothing?
Why isn't the Department of Justice? Why isn't the Attorney General going after the Biden? The FBI has admitted that they've had 40 agents working on the Biden crime family for the last 15 years. They have all kinds of proof of what he has done wrong, what the family has done wrong, what anybody has done wrong.
Can I answer that question? That question?
Please. Yes,
and it's going to be real short and sweet. You asked why they haven't done nothing. The same reason they can come out and say, your president has dementia and can't remember shit, but he'll be having a primetime meeting tomorrow at noon. The same way he can still be our president after what has come out. Does it really shock you? No, it doesn't. You just
no. It doesn't really shock me.
The powers to be does not lie with us right now. So that's how it can happen, brother. That's how. Because for whatever reason, it's been meant to be hush hush. Because if it wasn't hush hush, Joe Biden wouldn't have been able to be at this point to play his part in the ongoing movie or reality show, whichever one you want to. Joe was always supposed to be in. If people don't start thinking this way now, you think these Democrats just all of a sudden woke up and decided who's going to be who, when, and where, and how, and what? No, a plan must be orchestrated from a point, a starting point. Joe has always and was always, in my opinion, going to be put into office. As we see, he was installed. So to answer your question, if they've been doing this for 40 years and they haven't coming after him, because he hasn't played his part yet. So they were told to keep hands off. Well, guess what? Joe's role came up. He won an Oscar for being the dumbest motherfucker on the face of the earth. And now they're done with him.
Well,
they're sending out the attack dogs. And they sending them out so quick. We don't know if it's going to be a 25th Amendment. We don't know if it's going to be. We don't know what they're going to get them on.
It just gets to me, too, that President Trump, when he is back in January of 2025, is going to probably have the hardest thing to do of any president in the history of presidents, including his first 4-year term, where he is going to have to take the Department of Justice apart brick by brick. In theory, fire everybody, find the right people, find the right person to be Attorney General, who will find the right person to head up all of the agencies that make up the Justice Department, and put it back together. And in 2028, if his vice president doesn't become president, or a Republican who is equally as ready to rock and roll, they're going to just screw it up again. And it just amazes me. Like you said, it's not that they just turned the light on and decided they were going to do this today. It's not like they all sat down in Biden's office today and he said, we're going to screw over America today because we got nothing better to do. This is a plan. And Randy had a narrative that we basically gave him doing Boogie with the Bull broadcast, because Randy was always the one who said the Democrats told us when they were going to do something, how they were going to do it, where they were going to do it, and then went ahead and did it right in front of us. And it didn't matter whether or not it was legal. They just went ahead and did it anyway. They gave Joe Biden the presidential election. They threw all of these basically cases against Donald Trump that should have been thrown out of court to keep him from being able to be on the campaign trail, doing what he does best, shaking hands, kissing babies, not smelling their hair, and doing everything else that Biden does. And the other thing that gets me beyond my microphone is still bright red at the end of a broadcast for an hour when I say this, that Joe Biden or his handlers have decided there will not be any presidential debates between him and Donald Trump. And that should tell every Republican, register, make sure you get out and vote, make sure everybody else gets out and vote. And even talk to your Democrat friends, because they should think that if this guy is so great and he can beat Donald Trump.
Well, this is the thing.
He's got to have a debate.
Democrats don't want to vote for Joe Biden. So they put themselves in the worst predicament that they could ever find themselves.
Right.
To where they know that America is done with them.
Yep.
They know their party is done with Joe Biden. So, and it even goes back. I had some people, well, they're going to take Trump out. God forbid that wouldn't do nothing but make Don Jr. the next president and probably not even have an election. So that could be the worst thing they could ever do.
Right.
That could you talk about them making him a martyr by going after him verbally and with all of these indictments. Lord, let something happen to him. See, they know. They're not trying to lose America. See, the Democrats aren't trying to lose America. They're trying to control America.
Right.
So doing that to Donald Trump puts a monkey wrench in their whole shit. They know game over. They would never have America. So They got to find a way to finesse this out. And there's really no way of finessing. They've got themselves jammed. So now we just sit back and wait.
Yeah. I don't think it will be the 25th Amendment on Biden, because the cabinet takes a vote and the majority vote of the cabinet decides whether or not Biden is impeached, because Kamala Harris does not get a vote as vice president because it would be conflict of interest, because she stands to become the president if the cabinet votes him out.
Well, I don't
From
know
what
if he's
I-
gonna be 25th or what, but he ain't
Right,
gonna
well-
make it past the Chicago thing. They getting ready
Well-
to get his ass up out of there.
Well, I believe that the 25th Amendment was going to be used against Biden shortly after he got elected, if he got elected, because Nancy Pelosi, before the election,
You mean
was running.
used against Trump?
No, used against Biden
Oh.
because Pelosi kept saying, I'm not, the 25th Amendment hasn't been reviewed in like 25, 30 years. And she's looking at it and
Well,
kept saying,
I have
but,
to correct.
you know,
When
and
Nancy,
if-
when
and if
Nancy
she
brought that up,
lied,
she was talking
right,
about
but if-
Trump.
well-
I just want to correct you.
okay, it could have been that maybe that's what she was going to do, but she
Well,
kept
they
saying,
don't get offended. I just you got viewers, and I
right,
just want
but
I
she,
just want to
she
make sure
kept
that
saying, she kept saying that she wasn't planning on using it against Trump. Whether or not she wanted it used against Trump doesn't have anything to do with it, because Mike Pence, the vice president, would have had to decide to use it against Trump.
Yeah,
And I
that was
don't-
just another scare tactic
and-
to try
and
to
I-
get Trump out of there.
Well, right, but I don't think that it would have gotten that far, because I don't believe that Trump's cabinet would have actually voted him out. They could have.
Well, first of all, you have to have some type of mental probable cause to use the
Right.
25th. So
Right.
they could have gave him a one of those tests, cognitive test or whatever.
Right.
He'd have flashed that. Now you give Joe Biden a cognitive test. You tell Joe
Right.
Biden, I'm gonna give you 3 words, and then we're gonna talk for 5 minutes, and then tell me what 3 words I told you. We got a problem.
Right.
That's where you invoke the 25th.
Right.
So
Well,
there
well,
was
that-
no way that they could invoke the 25th on Trump,
Right.
even though,
My-
along
right.
with the Russia and everything else, they brought that into play.
Right. My belief was that the Democrats, once Biden was elected, must have had a plan with Kamala Harris that she would invoke the 25th Amendment and move Biden out, and she would become president. That
No,
never
you know
happened.
why
That
you
never
know why
happened.
that's not, no, you know why that's not true? Because if what you're saying is true, he's been in office almost 3 years. They would have been trying other stuff to get rid of him. If the 25th didn't work, they would have tried other stuff. That's why I'm telling you the 25th was never meant for Joe Biden.
Okay.
I'm telling you what literally came
Okay.
out the mouth. I've been doing this. I know what
Yep.
I'm saying.
I know.
They were
and I
trying
respect
to
you.
bring it up,
And I learn every
on
time you're
Trump.
on.
but they knew that wasn't going to work.
Yep.
Because you got to figure, if they was talking about bringing up the 25th on Joe Biden 3 years ago, hell, they had enough time to come up with other shit. No, Joe Biden was always the plan. Now that he's having a cognitive mental decline and everybody can see it, hell, look how they're still trying to keep him a Seabiscuit in there. Look how they're still doing Papaw. They never wanted to get rid of Papaw. Papaw was the Trojan horse. So I was just saying that so we can, be on the same page. That's all.
I understand. I also do want to say that, and even Republicans probably don't want to hear it, but happy 82nd birthday to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who is probably on his way out, probably won't get reelected when he is up. I think it's 2 years. I think he's up in 2026. Supposedly he only has to bring in two Republicans to give him the majority and turn it back to Republicans. Don't know if that can happen. But and it's sad. I watched a speech of him or at a press conference recently, and again they asked him a question and he froze for a couple of seconds, and then they asked him the question again and he said he didn't hear the question. They asked him a third time and it looked like he was making eye contact with the person and he froze, and again, and it ended. And there are Republicans on every side of the field about how they feel about Mitch McConnell, but it's very sad when
Mitch, see,
it happens on either side, really.
when you've been when you've been in a leadership, when you've been in a position like Mitch has been in for so long, and you've been able to obtain so much dirt on so many of your colleagues throughout history, they can't help but let you stay in there until you die. That's just the bottom line.
No,
Same
I
thing with
know.
Nancy Pelosi. When you know where all the bodies are buried,
Right.
unless
Now, see
you
that?
wake up
See
and
that?
they say, Nancy, go ahead, Randy.
Go ahead, Randy.
See, you're right about that. These people have been in office for so long, they know every single bit of dirt on every person in the Senate and the
Right.
and the other office,
Yeah.
and to push
And
them out.
at least with Dianne Feinstein, they let her die while she was a senator.
I mean, I think she
Yeah.
died in the wheelchair when they were pushing her out the door.
That's a shame what
Yeah.
they do to elderly people.
No,
But
I
you
know.
know what? They was afraid because she probably told them, you better leave me alone or I'm telling everything on my deathbed. I'm telling everything. And they was like, yo, leave that lady, leave her alone, let her die it out, and that's how it is.
Can you imagine if the doctors gave Hillary Clinton a cancer diagnosis and said you're going to die in 6 months? If Hillary bought prime time, which I'm sure she could afford to do, on all 3 major networks at once, the confessions that would come out of her mouth, because it wouldn't matter, she's going to die anyway.
I've just
Go ahead,
come
William.
to the conclusion that it's just a very sad state of affairs.
Yep.
I would have been better off not even knowing what my government was capable of, and not just capable of, but actually implementing. Yeah, I'd have been better off not knowing, because
But I want to challenge you on that, Ray, because you're the kind of person that you would have found out what they were doing or figured out what they were doing, and then you would have brought it to America every time you came on.
But I wouldn't have the hurt. I wouldn't have the hurt that's inside me. That's what I mean. Like so many other Americans, we would have rather not even known. I would rather not know my wife is cheating on me.
I would, right.
I would rather not know. And I'm just using a hypothetical.
Right.
But
I understand what you're saying, but you have always struck me as the kind of person who isn't, and probably never was meant to be, by the grace of God, just a stand-up American doobie who got up every morning, had breakfast with your wife and your kids, drove your kids to school, went to work, came home, maybe spent some time with your kids while they were doing their homework, and then some family time. They went to bed, you and your wife went to bed, and you got up and did it again. You've never strike me as that kind of person. You've always strike me as the kind of person that actual and factual to me has a meaning. You will go find the actual and the factual, and you will bring it to America, and you come on to broadcast and you educate me every time you're on, because I always say something that is usually wrong, but even though I may think it's right in my head, but it's usually wrong, and you educate me every time you come on.
You know why that is, Dave? It's very simple. I love the truth and I hate a lie.
Yep.
So in any scenario, in any situation in life, in any instance when something takes place, we all got to figure out, well, what happened? You see a car accident down the street. You walk down there and there's 10 people. First thing, what happened? What happened? You got to be able to know with your eyes and your brain. You know when you see a lie. I mean, and you know when you see the truth.
I'm going to get another copyright violation because I'm going to sing. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, when no, when
Oh
no,
my God.
when
Oh,
no to
please,
walk
please,
away,
no,
and
please,
when
no,
know how
no.
to, and know when to run.
Here's a prime example.
He's
And the only
rolling on
reason,
his grave. Please don't do that.
I'm calling them out, I'm not even gonna call them out.
Go ahead.
That's how much respect I have for this man right now because of the sob story he gave. But there was a gentleman that went flying around social media the other day, barking up a storm about this trucker convoy and how he wanted all the truckers to protest going into New York and all of this stuff, and how he was tired and all of this stuff and all. I mean, going on a long rant. Come to find out, he took his. It was 2 days, 48 hours. He took the post down, talking about, oh, I didn't know my kid was going to see it. It's all over TikTok. It went viral. You probably know what I'm talking about. Name is Chicago Ray. But if you're not willing,
not related to the William Rays of any kind.
Oh, hell no. Because see, first of all, this Ray right here, I'd have never took it down once I put it up. Especially if it's something that he felt it in his heart. I mean, he had me believing him. But the pressure. Don't people know pressure creates diamonds? And diamonds will never break. Pressure got him to take his post down. And then he gonna give us some, well, my kid seen it on TikTok. Dude, you should have crossed your T's and dotted your I's before you opened your mouth.
When they kick us all off of Facebook, if they're ever able to do that, if God forbid Biden wins re-election and they take social media and the internet away from us, where will we go after Facebook?
Dave, you know I don't get down with crazy.
No, I know.
I can't even answer that because Biden will never be president. And Facebook's not the only social media platform. I mean, that was too easy, Dave. That was too easy.
Well, okay. I'm just looking into my camera, trying to figure that one out because I had so much drama over this weekend that we don't need to air again.
Yeah, Biden will never be president.
On a Boogie with the Bull broadcast.
So we ain't got to worry about that. Put it this way.
I'm actually on True Social. Well,
I'm going to make sure Biden ain't president.
Well, Dr. Craig says go to True Social. I'm on True Social. I have a Boogie with the Bull group that I actually set up on True Social and abandoned it. And I keep telling people that I will start getting it updated and keeping it updated. And you're right. I will make sure that I am doing that. And Craig, sometime when you got 20 minutes to come on, you got to come on and talk. Craig is I believe, a retired child psychiatrist and just an all-around smart guy. And I really appreciate him watching. Yeah, because I'm a 62-year-old child. But anyway, go ahead, Ray.
There's so many different ways of getting your votes out there now. We can't worry about that no more. It ain't like, back when we had MySpace and that was it. And then you had, Facebook and that was it. I mean, now people branching out on their own with their own platforms. I mean, the only thing you need is a hub or whatever you call it, a base to start from. And you don't have to be Google. I mean, you don't have to be YouTube. You don't have to be Facebook. And that's my future endeavors, just to have my own platform to where I don't have to be, dealing with any of that stuff.
Yep.
So
I've been dragged into so many meetings over the years with people who have the money or had the money at the time to start a platform. And every one of them came down to, what if we are bigger than Facebook or equal to Facebook in a very short period of time? And I used to say, well, you know what? When that happens, you'll be paying me about $27 million a year to work for you. And we'll worry about it when it happens. But
Well, see, I'm not trying to get a platform. I
know. I tell people.
I'm just trying. My end goal is to have my own personal talk show.
Right.
Whether it's radio, iHeartRadio, whether it's Sirius XM, whether it's whatever it is. But my end game is to be off of these platforms.
Right.
And then just
strictly be the Patriots. Talk to Michael Anthony then, because Michael Anthony, has all his connections to all these radio broadcasts where he claims that, the one broadcast is on to like 500,000 listeners.
I don't listen to people.
It is not hard. It is not hard to get yourself onto real radio if you want to be on real radio. It's hard. It's hard and expensive. It's hard and expensive. It's hard and expensive if you want to buy a radio station and put yourself on. But I know a lot of people that started out on internet radio and did their dues in internet radio for a couple of years, 4 or 5 years, and then went to an underperforming AM radio station in their market and said, hey, give me 90 days, which is the length of time for one Arbitron rating book.
Right.
Sell your current advertisers, even though your ratings are in the toilet. Sell your current, lower the price of ads for your current advertisers so low they won't leave, and just let me do what we do for 90 days. At the end of the 90 days, every person I know that did it ended up buying the AM radio station.
Well, see, the only thing with that, it's like taking.
But AM's dying too.
It's like taking a kid bowling. You're gonna have your guardrails up.
Yeah.
See, Howard Stern didn't have no guardrails up. See, I've told people since I started doing this 7 years ago, going on 8, the Patriots Lab is a brand. See, a lot of people, unless you know about me and the lab, you really don't know. The Patriots Lab is not just a podcast show. It's not just somebody that goes on the road and says, I'm the Patriot. No, the Patriots Lab is a brand. When people say me, they say, hey, you're the Patriots Lab. Yes. Like Howard Stern is Howard Stern. Howard Stern stands alone.
Yeah.
The Patriots Lab one day will stand alone. And that's what I mean. I'm not talking about conglomerating with nobody. No.
Okay.
Just like I do it right now, the actual and factual, how I want it.
Yep.
I'm not going to go to some radio station because they say, well, you're just starting out. We'll put you in this and let. No. God, that's not what God has for me. That's not what God told me. God said you keep grinding, because for every door that I close, there's going to be plenty that open. And it's all about staying focused, staying motivated, determined through the eyes of all adversity. Close friends, family members. You can't be that person that wants to be that one that wants to get along with people. You say things to get along with people. You do things to get along with people. No. You call it like you see it.
Okay. Yep.
And if it hurts their feelings, I didn't mean to. But if it's actual and factual,
then you didn't mean to hurt their feelings.
No.
No,
but you know what they say, the truth hurts.
It does.
Yes. So it is what it is.
It does.
But hey, the queen has entered the queendom, so I must retreat.
Yeah. And I gotta get going too.
Yeah, Randy's got to get going. He's got to sleep because he's got to be back at 10 o'clock in the morning. But go ahead, William.
Y'all on at 10 in the morning?
We're going to be on at 10 o'clock in the morning. Randy and I with our morning caffeine. And you're more than welcome to join. You're more than welcome to join us. Or if you want, if you're going to be on at 10 o'clock in the morning, invite me and Randy, and we'll come do it with you.
I always invite y'all in the morning. Only one that shows up is Randy. You always got an excuse. You be on your meds. So
well,
I don't even mess with you.
well,
But yeah, it would be awesome because
yeah, you're more than welcome to
everybody,
join us.
and I'm noticing your views been going up too. People are tuning in along with you, Randy. I was watching you today. You had quite a few on there.
Yeah.
Listening
People that told me that without them recently, and we're not talking about Jerry and the American Rebellion, the people who used to do a lot of things with me said that if they weren't part of it anymore, people wouldn't watch. Our numbers are staying consistent. They're not by any means off the wall, but we're getting 30 to 50 live views, and between a broadcast up to the next one, the total views are over 100, 200. I'm happy.
Hey, I got some breaking news before I go.
Go ahead.
So, everybody know who CJ Stroud is, right? If you don't know who CJ Stroud is, let me know. Well, anyway,
I don't know, you tell me.
Young rookie quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Okay.
I think I'll save this for my show because people on your show don't know about it. Well, anyway.
So good to watch Ray tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on his show. And we'll be there, or he'll be with us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on our show, and we'll make him a co-host.
I'll save the juicy for the morning.
All right. So either we'll be on with,
because it's on the tip of my tongue.
Okay. So either we'll be on with you, or you'll be on with us. I'll make you a co-host of Boogie with the Bull if you want.
No, don't make me no. I don't. No. I'll look at you guys, and if I'm able and available, and if you allow me to come on, I will be more than happy to come on. But I already know. You can't. I don't commit to nobody.
I know you don't.
See, at least I keep it real. There's a lot of people say, "I'll be there. Pencil me in. I'm there for you. I got your back."
Right.
And then
and they don't. And they don't. And maybe that's why our numbers are going up, because those people aren't here anymore.
Well, you only have see, you saying, but you're not saying. See, I'm following you, Dave. I know how many people you have come on your show.
Dave's biggest problem is not who I invite, because I'd like to have anybody who wants to come on. That's just the way I am. It's the problems that happen when people come on and stay on for a while and then decide things need to be their way and not my way, and they go.
They want to come to your house and start rearranging your furniture around and everything, huh?
They want to come and build me a new studio, then maybe we'll talk about that.
What? No,
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. But Ray, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, gentlemen.
And I will look for you on Messenger anytime we go live and let you know. And if you're around, you're more than welcome to join us.
All right, you guys keep grinding, man. Keep grinding, keep doing what you do, and much success.
All right, thank you.
Yep, same with you. And again, my condolences to lots of your uncle and your grandfather recently.
Thank you. But I'll get back with you.
All right, Ray.
All right, deuces, guys.
All right, Ray. Let's see. Oh, see, Ray likes to pop it to ignite his own parachute. But Randy, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, just that. I think for us, the three of us. I'm not sure. Possibly Jen, but I think we all have come to a point in our broadcast lives where we're starting to realize that, first off, that I can create something that's actually being seen and hopefully has growth to it. But also, obviously Raymond has his broadcast and is doing very well, and he's looking to do and expand beyond, the Patriots Lab. And then you have yours, and you're able to survive on your own. And then with the group coming together as a family unit, we're going to have our arguments, but I think we're going to be a success as long as we keep doing what we do best, and that's talking about what's happening in the world, talking about history, talking about some politics, and family, and I think that we're going to do well. We will survive.
We will. We will. So you bring the coffee, and I'll bring the blueberry muffins.
Ooh, okay. That sounds like a winner to me. And I'm not going to parachute out. My parachute back hurts too much. So I'm just going to say good night and have a great rest of your evening.
All right, Randy. All right, Randy Rhodes. Let me see. All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. It's a group on Facebook. It is the name of his business. Message him, and he can fill you in. In as little as 15 minutes, he can go back 5 generations, and then you'll be able to decide whether or not you want to continue with him. Like he said earlier, do not be fooled. Do not go to Ancestry or anyone who is selling Ancestry DNA kits and buy one. Either contact Ancestry and buy one yourself and get it sent to you and send it in, because as Randy said, people are ordering a whole bunch of them on a credit card, then canceling their credit card and getting them anyway. And when you send it into Ancestry, they say, nope, this was not paid for, so we're not doing the test. So just be smart and use someone reputable. Use Randy Rhodes. And Randy and I may bicker and fight all the time, or sometimes an odd couple relationship. But, we both really do respect each other and enjoy doing this. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have morning caffeine together. Maybe an hour, maybe a little more than an hour, but usually we try to keep it about an hour. William Grant, thank you for watching. And Barbara Emmons, very glad that you watched tonight. Ray did have some encouraging words. And you're welcome to come back and watch anytime and share it wherever you feel you want to share it. And let's see, Paul Smith, a pleasure to see you here. David Bray, always nice to see you here. Dr. Peterson, Craig Peterson, always a pleasure to have you here, especially to know that we have a child psychologist in the house, probably watching The Biggest Child on Facebook. And one of these days, he'll probably send me a bill and we'll be in trouble. Belinda Brown Fortney, always a pleasure. Yes, the White House is becoming the most expensive nursing home in America. Way back in the beginning comments, you said, hi, Mom, Melinda. So if your mom is watching, good evening to Melinda's mom. And a pleasure to have you watching if you are. And let's see, did I cover Jane O'Malley, my buddy who was watching? Nick Gore has come back. And pleasure having you. There it is, Edward L. Hudson. It's always a pleasure to see you. And scrolling back up, I think that's what Robin Brunson, who says, if you like coffee, go to the Fat Cup Coffee Company Facebook page and then go over to fatcupcoffeecompany.com and order from the website. And you never know, if things go right, we will in fact get a sponsorship with Fat Cup Coffee Company. We're working on it behind the scenes. And we kind of had some broadcasts after we talked to them about coming on. We kind of had some broadcasts that kind of were loose and fell apart and really weren't gelled together right. And it was kind of too embarrassing to ask them if they wanted to consider doing something with us. But things have improved, and we might be ready to do that now. So go to Fat Cup Coffee Company's Facebook page, take a look around, and go to the website and order. And if you want, tell them that you heard about them on Boogie with the Bull. And maybe, just maybe, things will work out. So to everyone who watched, thank you. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live, the copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own it all, including all of the last round of copyright violations for using music that we did not have permission with on Facebook. All have been dismissed, even whoever Facebook claimed had the copyright, because on all of them, I either said words of a verse of a song or I sang words of a verse of a song, and the copyright owners actually didn't care, didn't consider it a copyright violation. It's just Facebook being Facebook. So if you're watching Facebook and I do that, like I did earlier, singing Kenny Rogers' song, and you're in Belarus and somewhere else out in Europe, you probably won't hear that version because it will be bleeped, because that's what Facebook in Belarus will do, but they usually end up dismissing it and moving on. It's nice to know that Boogie with the Bull is actually reaching outside of the country. We do have people in Tel Aviv, Israel, that do in fact watch. We have people in Russia that used to watch. I don't know if they still watch. I lost contact with them. And Diana Rose, who lives in Dublin, Ireland, watches every once in a while. And if you're outside of the country and you watch, let us know. And on that note, I'm going to bed. I told my wife we would be done 20 minutes ago, and we're not. And she has to get up early in the morning and go to work. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern, on my profile and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And we'll share it all over Facebook as well. If you watched the broadcast tonight and you liked it, share it wherever you can. And we appreciate you doing that. And like Ray said, the views are going up, and I'll let you know. We'll watch this overnight, and I'll give you an idea of where we stand on it. But if things go right between one broadcast, with ever the number of people that watch, somewhere between 30 and 50, it gets to near 200 total views by the time the next broadcast comes on. So I'm happy, and we're getting out more on Facebook, and more groups are letting me post it in there, and we appreciate that. And that's all I got to say. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. We'll slide down. Actually, we'll hit that. Slide down. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast did in fact come to an end. See you tomorrow morning